Hello everyone. So a while back ago, I made this pair of turquoise and pearl earrings. So in this video, I'm gonna go over how I made the bezels and the tools I used to smooth the solder joints and give them a smooth, clean finish. So I'm gonna start by making bezels for these small turquoise cabochons. I'm using fine silver 1/8 inch bezel wire, and I'm bending it to fit around the shape of the teardrop cabochon. Now once I get the shape of the wire fit around the cabochon, I'm just going to put a little mark with a Sharpie so I know where to cut the wire. Now I'm going to carefully cut along my mark with a pair of scissors as straight as possible. I want to make sure my edges are straight so my bezel wires line up for soldering. Now I'm going to take my round bale pliers and straighten out the edges a little more to make sure they really fit together well. Now I want to make sure the bezel fits around the cabochon before I solder it together and make any adjustments if needed. I'm ready to go ahead and solder my bezel, and I'm using spray flux and a little piece of hard solder. So first I'm going to heat the bezel up with my torch. I'm going to go ahead and melt the hard solder into a little ball and then pick it up with my solder pick. Once it's on my solder pick, I can place it along the seam of my bezel where I want the solder to flow. Now I gently heat the solder and the bezel up until the solder flows along my seam. There it went. Once the bezel's soldered, I want to go ahead and try it on the cabochon and make sure it fits. Before I attach the back plate, I want to go ahead and smooth those edges down with some 220 grit sandpaper. I also want to make sure the bezel's the right height for my cabochon. Now that my bezels are all made, I'm going to go ahead and attach the back plates so we're ready for the next step. Now I went ahead and soldered on the back plates, and now I'm cutting out the excess silver so I can give my bezels a nice smooth edge. For the back plates, I used 26 gauge silver. I like to use a thinner silver on earrings so they're lighter weight. Now that I've cut away the extra silver, I'm going to use my file to smooth those edges out. I'm going to use my file to remove some of that extra material and just give it a nice smooth finish. The file I'm using is called a Val Titan. Now it's a little more expensive, but it gives a lot better finish than some of the cheaper files I've used. I really like it. I'm just going to keep going around until all the edges are smoothed out. It really doesn't take that long with this file. Once my bezel has been filed and all the excess material has been removed, I'm ready to use these sandpaper rolls to finish the sanding. Now, these rolls come in 240, 320, 600, 800, and 1500 grits, but I mainly just use the 240 and the 320 grits just to smooth out the back and around the bezel to remove any file marks and smooth the edges. Now make sure and use your mask when you're sanding because you don't want to breathe in any dust particles. Now I'm using the sandpaper rolls with my Foredom rotary tool, but you can probably get them to fit a Dremel tool as well. Now I'm just going to go around all the edges just to get those marks out that are left from the file. Once I've smoothed the edges out, I'm going to go over the back to make that nice and smooth as well. I'm gonna go ahead and change that out. And just a little bit on these sandpaper rolls. When they start getting worn down, you can just peel the layers off and have a fresh sandpaper underneath. So anyway, they're pretty handy. And it comes with this pack came with 2 of each roll. So I'm still on the first one, so they last quite a while. So I'm going to do the next, let's see, how's that feel? I'm gonna do the 320 or the 320 grit next. And that's really all I do because I finish it off with my 3M sanding wheel. So we'll go ahead and do the next one. So this is the 320 grit. All right. There, and now it's ready for the next step. Now make sure you watch the second part of this video where I soldered the components together to create these earrings. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.